Thank you all for joining us for another session in Future World Alliance speaker series. At Future World Alliance, our mission is to make AI education more accessible, practical, and human centered. Through this speaker series, we bring together builders, educators, leaders, and innovators who are not just talking about the future of AI, but actively shaping it. Today, we are exploring one of the most exciting and shifts happening in AI right now, the move from AI as a tool to AI as a collaborator, assistant, and increasingly an autonomous agent capable of taking actions. Many people are experimenting with AI every day, but the real question is how do we move from simply using AI to actually using it to solve real world problems? Our speaker today has done exactly that. Deepti Bahel is a senior data engineer with over 12 years of experience spanning data analytics and AI. She has worked with organizations including Google, Intuit, and Accenture, and is the founder of Medimate Foundation, where she is building AI powered solutions to support patients and caregivers through complex healthcare journeys. Whether you are an educator, builder, entrepreneur, student, or simply curious about what's possible with AI, you will walk away with practical frameworks, real world examples, and a clear roadmap for turning your ideas into working apps in this session. With that quick introduction, let me just hand it over to Deepti. Thank you so much, Deepti, for doing this session for us. Over to you.
Thank you, Padma. Are you guys able to see my screen? Is
Yep.
my screen? Okay. So before I get started, I want to give a quick heads up. I made this entire presentation with AI as my teammate. This was entirely generated by Claude. I put together whatever I wanted to discuss and ask it to generate a interesting presentation which has less visuals, very appealing. So after this presentation, I actually want how the people felt like how this entire presentation looks like. Before these AI, we were using simple chatbots, but now AI has become like a daily part of our life, from drafting emails, taking meeting notes, to even sending us reminders or even LinkedIn messages to people. Or if somebody is looking out for a job search, these are the people who are extensively using AI as their teammates. They were no longer tool, just like our virtual collaborator, and you do not need any engineering degree or a software engineering skill set to get into AI. Let me give a brief overview of myself. I have about 15 years experience working in data engineering and AI space. I had worked with the big tech companies like Google, Intuit, Accenture, and currently I work as a senior data engineer at Gift Health and also started my nonprofit Medimate out of a Replit build-a-thon. Due to the AI, it won't have been possible if AI was not there. And I have mentored more than 50 plus builders and data engineers through different platforms like Women in Big Data, Upnotch, and even the platforms like Women Applying AI. I like talking to people and learn from others as well as teaching what I know to support them in best way I can. Before I jump into the slide, let me tell one of the example. Back in 2014, I had recently joined Accenture, and in my project, there was too much manual work. I was getting data from a lot of Excel sheets, Tableau dashboards, and copy pasting them into a PowerPoint presentation. And being an engineer, I hated any kind of a manual task. So I thought, why not I automate this and wrote a VBA script to entirely automate the workflow of that, taking the numbers from different Excel sheets and Tableau dashboards into a PowerPoint presentation and generate it. And now, when I look back, I was like, oh, this could have been easily done by AI. And I spent almost like 2 months. I was able to automate the entire workflow in the 2 months. Now AI can just do it in a fraction of seconds. I could have been sipping my coffee, and AI could have easily done my entire code and built the project I had created back in 2014. Now AI is not only changing our jobs, it's changing the day we are perform even doing even our day-to-day course. Like if I have to cook something or want to get ready for a party, I just go to AI and ask it questions like, okay, I have to get ready for a party. Can you describe what look will suit me? What should I wear? You give AI a goal. This is what you want to achieve with AI, like building an application or creating your resume, helping you prepare for any kind of a speech contest. AI will create a plan. It will connect with other tools like your Gmail, Slack, calendars, and get the work done. Like this, we simply start. You have like a 1 hour meeting, and you want something like that can create like a meeting notes and summarize that, so you know what are the action steps for each of the team members. You simply put in the your meeting transcript into the AI and ask it to summarize this. AI will it works pretty well. AI can act as your assistant as well, and then we have agents which are which work, which also have the reasoning abilities and connect with other tools. And then we have like workflow. Suppose you want like an agent to send you reminders every day, or send some emails every day, so you can use workflow automations for that. Few years back we just used to have a chatbot. It will just ask the simple questions but whatever it has been trained to answer, but it did not have the memory, it did not remember what was the previous question you had asking, and it used to wait for prompt. But now we have like a smarter chatbots or agents which have like a memory, they have like a reasoning ability, they can plan the entire things, they can do the action oriented, they can connect with other tools, they can check and validate the results, and even guide you throughout the process. Like you can set up an AI agent that will create the presentations for you after every class. AI will go through the notes, plan it out. Okay, I want to create like a slides out of these meeting notes, not all together. It will create the slides and check with you is the slide okay or not. And sometimes some of these agents are smart enough, depending on the large language model, that they will store the previous context you have given, and they will remember, okay, in the previous time you were asking this question, so they will use that as a context to keep improving and cater to your specific needs. I have experienced the same thing with my chat gpt and claude altogether. The claude and chat gpt knows in and out about me, what I do, what the projects I have working on, even my writing style, because a lot of times I write a lot of articles on medium and get it reviewed by the chat GPT. It has become so efficient, like it knows exactly my writing tone. And even if I go chat GPT right now and ask it, can you create my bio? I have a talk to give. It's so smart that it will just, I don't need to tell it anything about myself. It will give my bio altogether. Let's see how these AIs, how these agents are configured. The firstly, before you build any agent, you should know that what is the goal of this particular agent. And then suppose you're trying to build a market research agent. So my goal here is that the agent will do a market research of a new technology that is coming into the picture. It needs to even see that what are the next steps involved to start building the market research and analysis. Then what are the tools it needs to connect to, and then see the data it has retrieved and check that and adjust it accordingly. Like suppose I'm building a trying to find out a new iPhone. I'll ask AI, I want to buy a new iPhone. Can you do a market research on different iPhone versions available and let me know based on my requirements what would be the next step? AI will go together the entire internet, scrape the required data, and see that which one are meeting my needs and press act on it and present those results to me, and also mention certain characteristics. Okay, why I should buy this iPhone based on the needs given by me, because it already had a set goal in the mind. And the better you are communicating with these agents on what you want your goal, that is how their is behavior is depends. The more context and the goal you give, the better results you get. Previously, everyone used to think that, oh, I don't know coding. How can I build with AI? But I think I took part in a buildathon where I did not know anything about building the apps, and I ended up building numerous apps after that hackathon. And in fact, whenever I still want to build an app, I was like, okay, what this app should do? This is my first question, and then I start building. I don't need to learn any hard coding or even a mobile builder to build an application. You just need to know that what you want to build. Describe it in a very simple, plain English, like prompt engineering or prompting is the key now. Or in some cases, like you want to build a workflow, so you can use this drag and drop tools like N. The hardest part is actually not the coding anymore. It's like what is the identifying the right problem set, getting the right guardrails and in place to get the work done. In fact, during one of the build-a-thons Padma had organized, a lot of people were like non-coders, and when we saw the applications built by them, they were pretty impressive. Now, see how these agents function. They have like a large language model, which is a brain, which tells agent how to act, how to reason the things. It can be any model like OpenAI, any of the OpenAI models, Claude models, or any of the Gemini models. And we have tools and APIs. Like you want an agent to send emails, so you can connect it to your Gmail, or if you want to set a calendar reminders, you can connect to calendars. And now these all these a lot of the tools already have the inbuilt APIs that you can connect with your agent altogether, like Slack, Linear, GitHub, or even your WhatsApp, because many people are building the agents which are sending reminders or messages to the WhatsApp group or Telegrams. And even like Lovable also has an API, so you can sync the Lovable API with the ChatGPT directly and build a beautiful application. And then we also, the agents also have like a data and a memory. You can store your own documents and context so that they have the entire context of what you're trying to build. And if you want certain action to be triggered or run manually by you, you can set up the automation as well so that it can run on its own. You don't need to take a control of that part. And many people ask me, where do we get started? I mean, it just depends on which level you are and what's your priority. Like, if you want to have like a conversation and want to build simple prototypes or custom assistants, which do not need any setup, you can just go to Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini. Or if you want like a drag and connect kind of of automation, you can use Zapier and it and Make, because they usually have like a small tools which you can connect together and automate the real workflows. They do not require any coding experience. Or if you want to build an application or a web application or a mobile application, you just tell Lovable, Replit, Bolt, or V0 what you want, and within a fraction of minutes, you will get working applications that you can easily ship. But if you're a coder and want to do a lot of coding, you can use these framework like LangGraph, AI agent SDKs to create multi-agent production-based systems. And which this is actually in this slide I've summarized it, which tool is best for which kind of a people, like yeah, and even their use case. Like for the Claude and ChatGPT, they are best for like a brainstorming or drafting or making a custom assistant. Like you want to do a brainstorming before giving any presentation or a talk, or you're building a new solution. You're in a marketing or a product manager, or you are a software engineer. So you can use Claude or ChatGPT, Gemini for that case. But if you don't want to do any kind of a code and want to build custom automations and connect multiple applications and are pretty non-technical person, I would say the Zapier is the best tool. I just built a simple agent that I'm going to show you guys later using Zapier in like 10 minutes. And when we have init which is also like use custom logic and control, it's self-hosted. It's mostly for the analysts and thinkers. It also requires no code and pretty much flexible. I've not used Lindy, but it is pretty good for the any kind of a financial or healthcare agent and for the business teams. And for the applications, we have Lovable, Bolt, V0, Replit. It is more for the founders and makers. And then LangGraph and QAI are more for the engineers center, and they can pretty good with building complex multi-agent systems. I mean, you can choose whatever tool you like upon your role, your own technical bandwidth. And I mean, I have played around with multiple tools and I still do not have any favorite. I just do whatever I feel like. If you're an educator, a student, you can just simply start with a Claude. Or if you're a founder, go to Lovable, go to Replit, and you don't know what you can create. And if you want even some kind of automations to support you, if you're a solo founder, you can use Zapier or Lindy or even N8N to automate a lot of your busy work like drafting emails, setting up meetings, or even looking for leads. Or if you're a data engineer or a data analyst, the NN LLM API can easily connect to with your databases and can automate a lot of your reporting. And if you're an engineer, you just simply go to Cloud Code or LangGraph to build production grade agents. Let me give you a use case of a caregiver assistant, which I had built in 10 minutes using both Claude Code and Zapier. So the problem statement this caregiver assistant is solving is that in recently a family member has been discharged from hospital and have been given like a lot of papers with the instructions and medications, and he's pretty worried and he don't know whom to ask after getting discharged. And so his family, I wanted some agent which can be useful to his family, which can read the entire documents and whatever the questions they have about his medication, his schedules, or appointments, or even sending medication reminders or setting any flags if any condition this person is not feeling well. It can it should give them action steps like call the provider. So let me show the agent. So this one I built using Claude. Let me show you what I actually did. I went to the Claude AI, and under project, there's this caregiver assistant. And if I go to edit here detail, so I just added a prompt and that what this agent is supposed to do. And it's now asking me how can I help today? So I can just ask him, can you let me know what medication I should take? So the agent is actually reading the documents and then on based on that, checking what should are due. Oh, yeah, I think I've not added the file. I'll just add the file. But even though I did not add the file, it's actually checking the connected tool to see the what are my medications due. But I think it did actually read my calendar because and check my medications. But I now give it more context about this under start summary, and let's see what it does. So you can see here it went through the entire documents I had given and told that what are the medications due and their timings and even the things I should keep in mind. And now let me actually just ask them to create an action in new draft. Your medication schedule. So I'm actually telling the agent it can draft an email and send the entire medication schedule and also necessary action steps to watch out for. Let's see what it's up to. It started to compose the medication all to since I told it to create a draft email, it composed an email and with the subject line Margaret's medication schedule and what to watch out for. So it has generated an email. Here is the Margaret complete medication schedule from the hospital discharge summary, along with the monitoring steps and warning signs to watch out for. Please do not stop any medication without first speaking to Dr. Anand. And it gave the entire schedule and the medications are due and even there's something about the calling to a doctor and the signs to watch out for like the weight and there's a swelling and there's a shortness of breath or a dry cough or pulse consistently below 55 or above 100 or there is a dizziness or standing that does not go away and in fact even mentioned when to call the 911 and also about the follow-up appointments and you can see that I don't have to do anything. It within a seconds, it composes the entire email that that I need to send to the person for my review. And if I want to edit, I can actually edit it. Here, it's itself like just wrote my email and asked to send to Gmail. You can see that it simply opened up my email box and the draft, and I can just simply click send. I intentionally wrote the draft so that I do not give the agent complete autonomy and review the email it is sending because a lot of times they use large language models which do hallucinate. So having a human in loop by this draft email made sure that I'm reviewing everything before sending the complete email to the person who's responsible for taking care. And then I actually built the same agent in the Zapier as well. Second, let me show that. Yep. So I actually built the same agent in the Zapier as well. And it was very simple in the Zapier itself. I just give it a prompt and give it like how I should trigger it. You can trigger it on demand or you can give it a schedule and you can connect to different tools like Google Sheets, Calendar, Notion, or Slack as well. And I already gave it like the entire medication document to read through. And when I want to test it, I click on the test agent and now I can start asking its question. Like I'll ask the same question: what are the medications due? You can see that it's actually checking what I'm doing. I have loaded the entire content of this particular patient from discharge summary text, and it's reading the what is the patient name, medications, prescriptions, and discharge. It retrieve the entire content and create an analysis. Now it coming up with that. Yeah, so it's asking me what I want to do with the agent, get an overview or ask a specific question. Like I'll ask her what are the medications due. So you can see that the agent is actually planning the things. It first analyze the entire data source and check what question asking, and then it's even looking out for prescription drug dose frequency administrator. And now, based on that, it's summarizing the entire results. And you can see here in the Zapier, it how it has beautifully summarized the entire results in the form of an table that is more easier to read than the Claude, and even mentioned that who are the doctors or what to inform for, and even asking if I want to improve this result, I can improve with Copilot. And let me ask the same question like, can you compose an email with the medication list I can send to beheldeepti@gmail.com along with the necessary action steps to watch out for. Now I have given him a complete action, so you can see that it has drafted an email altogether. And it's even asking, should I go ahead and send this email to Beheldeepti? And then it will send right away. So I'll just say yes, and let's see what it does. You can see that it's planning the next action steps and okay, and generating the email steps. And it's asking my permission for approval. Leave the human in the loop before sending email. You can see this particular action is in progress. Now it says that email was sent successfully to beheldeepti@email.com, and what it has the medication schedule, emergency signs to watch out for, care team contact number, and same day clinic warning signs. And it's now asking me if I have any other action items to take care of, and if I want to publish it, I can publish it all together. And if I want to share with anyone, I can just share the agent all together with by adding anyone's email address so that they can also benefit from this agent. And I can share it socially as well. And let's actually check if the agent actually sent the email or not. I'm just going to open my email box, and you can see that I just got the email from Zapier on the Margaret's medication list and action steps as it was shown in the Zapier. And there's another one by the Claude as well. I mean, I wanted to do a comparison on both the Claude agent and the Zapier's agent to see that how the different models are actually performing. If you look at how the email is organized between the agent created by Claude and Zapier, they're pretty different. The Zapier one is pretty much very professional looking as per me. I don't know about you guys, but the Claude one looks more like a rough. I need to actually tune it further so that this email is in a perfect manner and more polished. And yeah, I just took like 10 minutes. I did not needed any other help. I could just wipe code this agent on my own. And if you look at the impact of this agent, it's pretty useful for somebody who's trying to be a caregiver to a family member. You don't need to read through the entire document list. He don't need to even send the medication reminder himself. Like, and if I look at the entire pipeline, the how it is functioning is that we first ask a question from the agent, then the agent actually retrieves the required document, and it works with the large language model. In Claude, it was I think Opus. For Zapier, I'm not sure what was the model being used, and then it has like a guardrails in place because it was not sending the emails right away in a self-driving mode. It was asking my approvals, and then it was asking any escalation if they're needed. And this is the one of the frameworks whenever you're trying to build any agent, you should keep in mind, and these are non-negotiable. A lot of times these agents hallucinates, they're biased on the data they are trained in. So always have them in the prompt mention that what sources it is using to retrieve this information, especially if you're asking any advice related to your finances, medication, or something which is very confidential in nature, because many times people just go ahead and ask for the medication advice. I'm not feeling well, what should I do? without seeing any cited resources on that one, the person's health can be in danger. And also, since I was designing a healthcare agent which has a lot of the information which is very private information of someone, we need to be clear about the privacy first agent. They should know the different policies within the HIPAA and GDPR, and always have a human in the loop before an agent is taking any action. Have a human in the loop, especially if you have a multi-agent system. At every step have a human layer which will check the output given by the agent and then pass it on to the next agent. And it should always be transparent, because you never know when the AI is wrong. And it should be careful about watching the sign of bias, because many times these agents don't not know what they are talking about. There was a case, like if you ask the chat GPT, draw a picture of a nurse, it will usually create a picture of a female. But if you tell it to create an image of an engineer, it will come up with a man, because that's how it has been trained. And you should always be careful and do not trust these agents blindly. Now, I have actually like a small roadmap for anyone. Shrividya, would you like to be a volunteer? Can anyone from the be a volunteer for this small activity?
Hey,
Um,
hi, Deepti. Yeah, I can volunteer for this one.
Awesome. Yeah.
okay. So first, we need to pick up a problem which you think that you definitely need an agent for that one. What is the most annoying task for you? We're not building an AI platform. We're just going to do a very simple agents, very pretty simple stuff.
Maybe let's pick an easy topic about, let's talk about health and fitness. If suppose planning out your meals and stuff
Okay, so
throughout the week.
okay, so you are looking for a health and a meal planner. So what should
Mhm.
be the input and what should be the uh, steps in the plain language?
So when you say input, what does that actually mean?
Like, what are you entering? You want like a meal planner and a fitness planner. So what do you want to actually input? Like, you're giving the things which are already in your fridge, or based on your protein requirements. What exactly? And what
Hmm.
you want the agent to create in just a simple language?
Okay, yeah. So maybe the input might be related to the calories and the protein intake and stuff
Okay.
like that.
And what is the action step it is supposed to do?
The action may be picking up ingredients or the meals for me as to what can I plan based on the intake and I should be consuming throughout the day.
Okay, and then we need to pick up a tool. So for this one, let's just choose with the Claude, because it don't require any coding,
Mhm.
and we need to actually even put some guardrails in place, like decide what it should never tell you before you let this agent run. Okay, let's actually start building this one. Like, let's ask the Claude. I want to build a fitness and a meal planner agent which takes my calorie and protein intake, and based on that, let tell me what should I eat throughout the day, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Throughout the day. Please, and this uh, also add like and give sources or citations link if possible, so that it does not give like any kind of a thing which is needed. Can you, and I'll just ask it, can you give me a prompt to build this agent? Let's first get the prompt from the client. I think. Oh, wow, it's actually checking the different sources in the internet based on the dietary and the protein intake. Sticking the markdown skill exists before creating the file. Okay. So whatever you're telling, the cloud has a good news for you, that it's very buildable and based on my specifications and guardrails. And it is going to give me a complete copy pastable system prompt with safety rails and real citations baked in, then explain the design choice. Let's see how it is working. Okay, so you can see that it has created this file with the prompts and the required guardrail. So let's just go to the system prompt. And it's also giving me the entire copy paste this thing. And to build this agent using Claude, I go to the Claude AI and go to projects. I'll create a new project, meal planning agent. And now it's telling me what are you trying to achieve. So I'll paste my system prompt up here from start and let's hit create the project. Okay, and you can see that it's created. Now it's asking me how can I help today. So what the question I should ask? Anyone volunteer for asking any questions to this meal planning agent?
Maybe any diet restrictions, or what is the amount of calories that you prefer to take during the day, and
Okay.
also how many meals per day.
Okay, let's just give me a prompt that I have a 15-calorie intake and take 3 meals every day and allergic to, say, nuts. Based on that, create my meal plan.
And is it vegetarian or meat option included?
Let's just mention I'm vegan.
Vegan.
Let's see what the agent does. And I did not mention like whether I wanted the Indian, Mediterranean, or American cuisine. So let's see what it returns.
Yeah. I just thought of one more question.
Okay. So we can see that it's returning the breakfast as a overnight of warm oats with soy milk because I mentioned vegan with banana added and sunflower seeds. And wow, it's giving some interesting recommendations to add cinnamon or maple syrup if you like. And then it's giving me the lunch as a chickpea green bowl with quinoa. And then it's also mentioning for the dinner tofu stir fry with sesame seeds oil. And in fact, it's giving since I added the guardrails, it gave me the points to keep in the mind. Who had the next question? Can you let me know?
Yeah. So maybe we can check with the agent if what are the healthier substitute when you crave for sweets.
And also, Hunter mentioned in the chat, how often can he cheat on the diet?
And how often? Let's see.
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, so happy to help. There's a healthier swap is the fruit than dark chocolate, and other options may be baked or microwave apple or pear with cinnamon, chia pudding made with soy milk or little maple syrup, smoothie with frozen banana and berries, or oat-based energy balls. Sounds interesting. Okay, and okay, I have an answer for how often to cheat. A common sustainable approach is one flexible meal per week, sometimes called 80-20 idea. Eat well about 80% of the time and leave room for the rest. Like 15 calories day, that's roughly 10,500 per week. So a single indulgent meal of an extra few hundred calories barely moves the overall picture, and it makes the plan much easier to stick with long term. So, and it's also mentioning that being said, the framing matters. Thinking in terms of building in flexibility tends to work better than cheating, which can set up an all for or nothing cycle where one off plan meal turns into a off plan weekend. And guilt free flexibility is a part of a healthy diet, not a deviation from it. And also keep an eye for 1500 calories. That's a modest intake. So make sure you are actually satisfied day to day. If you're frequently very hungry or fixating on food, that can be a sign the target is too low for your body and activity level, and it's worth revisiting the number rather than relying on willpower. So I guess whoever wanted to do a cheat diet, this is for them.
Yeah, it's good. I wish agent could cook all those things too.
And I think this is a framework everyone can actually just take a screenshot of the slide, or I'll send the slides to Padma and she can email you guys about before you build an agent. Put out your answers for these points, like what is the pain point you're suffering, when should it trigger, on what tools it should rely on, the action, and where is the human in the loop. And I think we already had built an agent in around 90 seconds, which was doing a very decent job. And this is like one last thing I wanted to tell, because a lot of you might be building a lot of things. Do not start with big, do not have like over ambitious output. Start with something very small, and have like always a human in the loop. Do not give AI access to your everything. And since I'm a data engineer, this is my favorite point. Do not ignore the data quality. If you are giving the garbage in, it is going to give you garbage out. Do not go and chase the tools. You should chase the problems. Don't the tools are just a framework to help you out as a teammate. Because people come and ask me, should I use Lovable or should I use Replit? Should I use N10 or Make? I'm like, whatever you are comfortable with. I mean, or you check the cost, which one is more expensive, because they're pretty easy and simple tool to use for. And then do not miss out AI governance. It's the privacy and accuracy is pretty important before you build any AI application or AI workflow. And you should know that who is the clear user of your AI application. Know your ICPs before you build anything. And yeah, a lot of time people tell them, oh, we read a lot on the AI, but we don't know how to get started. You don't need to learn, you need to start building with it. Pick a small topic, like we just started with a meal planner. Pick one, any tool of your choice, and then start by small iterations. And in fact, like whatever meal planning agent we had built, somebody can actually refine the prompt and add a couple of more additional stuff the agent should do in that one and keep it increasing in a small manner. So actually, that was the best part I actually liked about the build it and conducted by Padma, because every day we were building in the small part. We were not overusing the tokens. We just used to utilize 5 tokens of Lovable every day. And when the final product came in, it was well furnished, and we know that how we are going in, because in the 2 hours we could have built a complete application and run over the too many tokens. Or even like many people have given like a very big prompt altogether, and then they're like, oh, we asked the agent to build that, but it's just did not build something very great. It's just like how you are prompting, and that matters a lot. These give small prompts, and this is the case true with both the Lovable and Replit, because I use both the tools equally, and I have like 10-20 projects in each of these tools, and I had actually spent a lot amount of money in my initial days of learning on both the tools because I did not know how to prompt well. And yeah, you if you're having issues with the prompting, you can always use Claude as your teammate to help you out. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed enjoy the session, and can create some of your own agents for simple stuff you're facing troubles with. And okay, I see a question by Lola. When it comes to sensitive information, like in a healthcare company, should we approach AI? So I work in a healthcare company, in a pharmacy company. So we have an enterprise solution of a Claude and Gemini. We are not supposed to use any other AI tool besides those. And for note taking, we rely on Gemini and Fireflies. If and there was a case that somebody was trying to use some other tool. I don't read.ai. We don't know how it got into the system, and we got an email. If somebody is found doing that, they will take a strict action.
Okay, following up on that question, Diti, I have a question. In that healthcare app that you have created, example, we saw that there was a lot of sensitive information that was involved, the patient data information. So how do you determine the minimal amount of data that needs to be shared with AI, your AI agent, and how do you think balancing personalization with the privacy and also having the guardrails and even the human in the loop?
So I think if you see here in a lot of these LLMs, there is an option that you can choose to use this data for training or not to use for the training. Take care of that part, and also like have the enterprise version. You can actually like when we were evaluating the AI tools between Codex, Cursor, and Claude, so we actually had the calls with every one of these companies individuals and told them our specific scenario, because we have patient information all time. So we were given specific enterprise versions, and we did not, and even within the company they are not using that for training it. We do
What
have
if they're building the agent for their personal use? So if we don't have the enterprise version, we cannot restrict those things. So if we are using it for the personal use, how do you use those controls?
For the personal use, you can go to the settings and just
Yeah.
Do a trigger that I don't want the agent to learn on my data.
Yeah, a lot of people miss that, but there is an option for all the LLMs, all the agents that you try to build on, to go to the settings and turn off those using your data for training purpose. So that is really more important. A lot of people forget doing that.
Yep, you need to always need to take care of the AI governance and the human in the loop. And that's one of the reasons I put out that email, because a lot of this is a basic thing people want the agents for. Nobody likes replying to emails or want to draft emails themselves right now. Like at least read the email before you send it out. Put everything in the draft. Do not send randomly. And in fact, I work in the software engineering world. I have seen the people using the codex directly and running the code on production systems, not the development systems. And I think that had caused like entire data to get removed in a fraction of seconds.
Yeah. Any other questions? I guess everyone is clear. Maybe this would inspire everyone to go ahead and then try something, building your personal agent. This is really simple. All that you need to give is more personalized questions, more detailed questions, and better prompts. Ask. Okay, no questions. Okay, ask your own LLM, ChatGPT or Claude to frame prompts better, and then that will give you a better prompt to build your agents better. I think that I really got inspired. A lot of things I keep doing automation, but not for the personal ones. I think this maybe I need to take that step to do some personalized ones so that I can even speed up my task on a personal front. Thank you so much, Deepti, for doing this. And this is really good. Everyone should be able to do their own agents, not only for the professional work, but even there are personal use cases that you can use those for. Thank you so much. The recording will be shared on YouTube and will be uploaded on YouTube, and I'll be sharing it on the LinkedIn. And even if you follow Future World Alliance, you will get all the updates. Do attend our next Future World conversations and with more speakers and more conversations coming ahead. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again, Deepti, for your time and all the information that you have shared.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.